Hi guys, welcome to this vlog. I have a few creative plans that I want to do today, starting with some pants that I'm working on. I think it was 2 videos ago I did a video all about my summer sewing plans, and something I talked about in that video was making some quilted shorts slash pants, and now we're gonna do it. So I've gone through my fabric stash and I've picked out some fabric pieces, and then yesterday I started working on the pattern. The pattern pieces kind of look like a hack job right now, just because they're very pieced together, but we're off to a really good start. I would like to first show you guys my inspiration, so let's do that. Okay, so first let's go to Pinterest so I can show you my inspiration. And I did go through this in the video I was talking about, but here are the 4 pins that I am mainly taking inspiration from. So we're making quilted pants. Well, initially I was going to make quilted shorts, but I think I personally will get a lot more use out of quilted pants. And so this is kind of inspiration for the design, but like very lightly. These barrel jeans are kind of the inspiration for the shape, so they're going to be a slightly cropped pant leaning to capri length, because they are going to be like spring summer vibe. So they are going to be barrel jean shaped loosely, and then a little cropped pant. I like the quilted pattern of these, but we'll see. I just kind of pinned this just to see what quilted pants would look like. And then this pin is how I'm going to be doing the waistline. So I don't know if you can tell. Oops. But it's got just a waistband across the front, but then in the back you can tell that it has an elastic waist. So on the front it looks very classic and tailored, but then on the back it is an elastic waistband, and so it's a little more comfy because of that. So that's kind of the different characteristics. It's going to be a cropped pant quilted with that sort of waistband, and I am going to also do some fun bias binding details. I still need to figure out exactly how, but yeah. So, and then I do want to do a floral quilted patchwork pattern. So let me show you that. Okay, so I thrifted this Encyclopedia of Classic Quilt Patterns from my thrift store. I got it for $1.50, and it has been amazing. All of my quilted stuff has been patterns from this book, and I just love it. I highly recommend going and looking for a quilt book like this at your local thrift store, because it's probably so cheap and there's just so many things. So if you're trying to like up your quilt game, definitely check it out. It's just so fun. So I did a really quick look through. I landed on this quilt pattern. So it's a tulip one, which I think is really cute for spring and summer. So I've picked out a few different colors for the tulips. I have 5 different colors, and then for the space between I am actually going to make that a little bit smaller, probably like half the size. I'm going to make it 2 inches, so they won't be quite as spaced out. Yeah, so probably each leg will have like 2 flowers on it, and then the back may have the 5 once it's all connected. But anyways, that's the plan right now. I'm going to be following this pattern. And let me show you my fabrics. They are going to be quilted pants, but we're not trying to make them warm necessarily. I just want to find a way that we can still wear like quilted clothing, but in the warmer months of the year. And so I'm not going to be putting any batting in between the layers, because that would just add so much more warmth and we don't need it. These are the fabrics that I have. I did just go pick some up at Joann's, but they're washing right now. So I'll show you some clips of those in a little bit. For the yellow in between the sections of tulips, I'm gonna do this like kind of butter yellow bedsheet that I thrifted ages ago and I've been holding on to. And then this is also going to be the lining and the waistline. For the leaves and the stems, I have these 2 greens. I'm hoping to just use this one, but if I need to, I'll also supplement with this. For the tulips, so far I have this red, this pink, and this purple, and then I picked up a minty green blue fabric, and then I also got kind of almost a mustardy yellow for tulips, and then I got some blue fabric for the sky. We just have to wait for those Joann fabric pieces to finish washing and drying, and then I can start cutting. I'm not following the pattern in the book exactly, but I'm gonna get pretty close. And then while we wait for those to finish up, I did get a lamp. So I've had this lampshade for a long time. It came with a standing lamp that we've had for a while, but after rewiring I couldn't use this one anymore, and so I got a new lampshade for that lamp, and then I've just been holding on to this one just in case there was something I could use it for. And then we do need another lamp in our space, and so today I got this lamp base from the thrift store. It's really, really pretty. I got it for $5. It's got some brass on the bottom and then some cute florals at the top, but we do need to do a little bit of work on it to make it just right. So this piece came with the shade and it sits on top of it, so we have to find a way to make this fit onto the base. There's a tiny little hole, and that's where the switch is supposed to go, but I can't just do that. I can't just get it over it by doing that, so I'm going to have to cut it, cut an opening, and also cut this to be shorter as well. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to be working on while I wait for the fabric to finish up. And then I might also cut off this piece somehow, but we shall see. After a lot of sawing, this is what we've got. So I can just slip it to just leave it hooked onto this base, and then there we go. Much better. After lots of cutting, this is where we're at. I might have to end up doing some more cutting, but we're just gonna assemble all of this together first. But the colors are looking so cute together. I'm really excited. Okay, I think the last time I talked to you guys was like 2 days ago, probably. I spent the whole day yesterday piecing these together. I've done lots of cutting, lots of sewing to get it to this stage. So we have 4 different panels for the 2 front pieces and the 2 back pieces. So these are the front, these ones are the back. The back pieces I've had to do a little bit more piecing to get just the right shape without wasting too much fabric. But they're now at the point where I can put a backing on them and then quilt the pieces together. And I'm thinking I'll probably cut the actual pattern piece out of this quilt top patchwork before putting the lining piece on. I think that is going to be the easiest option and the least wasteful. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out my pattern pieces from the panels, and then I will be able to start quilting the actual pieces, and then it's just pant assembly, which is much quicker. But I really love how the quilt pattern is coming together. It's very Eastery, which I think is going to be really cute for next spring, and then it's good for summer now too. But I really like how the colors are coming together. Initially I was going to do a denim bias tape to finish off the edges, kind of similar to my quilted jackets. Let me show you. Denim bias tape like this. But I'm thinking now, just to keep the pants a little bit more bright, I'm going to use this yellow, which is also the lining fabric, just to keep things light. So yeah, that's my plan right now. I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting out the pieces and start on assembly, I think. Okay, some of you have been asking for a tutorial on how I finish the seams for my quilted jacket, and I thought I would show you in this video since the seams are pretty similar. I think a lot of you are mostly having issues with the under sleeve hem. Let me show you how I do it, and this is how I've done it for all of the hems on the jacket. So first I sew my regular seam with wrong sides together, so there is an unfinished seam on the right side. And then I'm going to take my bias binding and place it next to that seam and stitch over it again. I am going to move it about 1/8 of an inch away from the edge, just so I have a little bit more wiggle room. And we are going to end up trimming a lot anyways, so let me show you what that looks like. I don't remember what the seam allowance for the jacket is, but for these pants it's 1/2 inch. So I'm going to line up the bias binding 1/8 inch from the edge, and you'll do this with I suggest doing this with the jacket seam allowance too. Just line it up 1/8 from the edge, then you'll line it up with your seam allowance. So mine is 1/2 inch, so I'm just going to go over the stitching I've already done again, but this time with the bias binding. And then just do that along that entire seam that you're working on. Something that I forgot to mention is when you are first stitching on your bias binding, I recommend putting right side of the bias binding onto the front right side. And that way, once you've finished the seam, the bias binding will go more towards the back instead of taking up room on the front. Hopefully that makes sense. The next step is just to trim. So I trim probably about just like over 1/8 of an inch off. And you would do that along the whole seam, but I'm just going to do a little bit for now. And then we're going to open up that seam, fold over your bias binding, and then fold it over your seam so that it's completely encased, and then you'll go and top stitch either just one side or both. For the jacket I do both. On this one I'm not sure what I'll do, but just fold it over and give it a press, and then you'll take it to the sewing machine and stitch it. So the other thing is, some people have a tough time stitching the whole sleeve because it gets kind of small in this area. This is different because it's a pant leg, and so obviously it's a lot bigger than a sleeve, so it's going to be easier for me to do it on these pants than on the jacket sleeve, but I'll go ahead and show you how I do that on the sleeve, even though it's not quite necessary on these pants. So I'm going to turn it wrong side out, then I'm going to line up with my needle. You can definitely also pin this, I'm just not going to because I'm lazy. And then just start stitching the bias binding closed, and then you'll just continue going into what's left. Okay, and then especially when you are doing the binding for the sleeve, you'll get to a point where it's just like too tight to keep going. This isn't the best example because these are pants and I could totally get to the end without needing to stop, but if it were a sleeve, it would be much tighter. There'd be a lot more layers, and it just gets to the point where you just couldn't keep going, but you wouldn't have made it to the end yet. So in those cases, what I'll do, I'll just go until I can't go anymore, and then I will just stop, cut my threads, take my piece off, and then come in from the other end. So if this was like the sleeve cuff, I'd be coming in from this end now. To sew all the way to where I had first finished off. Okay, so here maybe you can see, this is where I had ended off. I'm going to go over it, and then back stitch, and then cut my threads. So that's the easiest way I have found to finish off the bias binding in those tougher to reach places. On the jacket, I do also do the other side, and I probably will for these pants. That's kind of the process that I have done. Hopefully that helps the few of you that have asked for a tutorial on how I do those bias binding seams, and then let me know if you have any other questions. I think I might be a genius. These pants are amazing. They're so cute. The vision was executed for sure. Don't mind the mess. This is what happens when I work on projects. I am going to clean it up, but we have to talk about these because they are amazing and they are perfect. These are 100% the perfect spring, summer pants, especially spring. They are dripping in spring vibes, right? I think the quilted material turned out perfect. It's not too thick. It's not going to be too warm. I think it's perfect. It's equivalent to like jeans, maybe even lighter than jeans. I think it's perfect, and I'm not worried about overheating in these at all. So cute. Very tailored, but comfy too. Loose leg. The back has the elastic waistband. So from the front, very tailored. From the back, comfy. And the actual quilt pattern, chef's kiss. It was the perfect decision for these pants, and I'm so glad that I went with this design. The colors are amazing. They just look so perfect together. It's kind of rainbowy, which I love. There's just like not enough words to describe how impressed and happy I am with how these turned out. The shape is perfect. They're slightly barrel jean vibe, but not too much. They're just perfect. They're the perfect length. Let me try them on for you guys. This is how we're looking. They're literally perfect. Like so comfy. The perfect length. Like they're pant shorts vibes. Like capris. But they're perfect. Like I can't say it enough how perfect these have turned out. I'm so excited to wear these all summer. I'm so excited to wear these all summer. I also think that just the length of them is going to look great with tennis shoes, great with like sandals too. And I'm kind of like a plain t-shirt girl. I don't like wearing like a graphic tee too much. So these are perfect because we got fun going on down here, but I can wear just like a plain top on instead. You know, I don't have to go too crazy with my top, but I can have fun with the pants and the shoes. But here's a full 360 of what we're looking at. They're so good, you guys. They're also like the perfect fit in the legs. They just feel so good in the legs. I can't wait to wear these. I cannot wait. They also have like nice pockets. Let me show you. You can fit my whole phone in that pocket. Perfect. You can get your chapstick lost at the bottom of there. I did not add back pockets because I didn't want to take away from the quilt pattern. I thought about doing a type of back pocket, but I don't think they would get as much use as just some nice tailored front pockets. These are perfect front pockets too. I love the bias binding finish. It's perfect. It's so cute. I'm very glad that I went with this lighter color because it's keeping things airy and light for summer. It's just like, it's just so cute. There's not enough I can say about it. So I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna have to end the video here. We need to pack and clean. We're leaving for the weekend and I need to set aside some time to do that. Also need to edit this vlog and get it up today. It's going up today. So tell me how much you love these pants and how much you want to make them. I am going to make a pattern for these, 100%. I'm going to make a pattern for them. It's probably going to be the next pattern I come out with. It has to be, right? Especially since it's almost already summer. We just got to get it out now. I think these would be great in like a longer length too, maybe? Let me know what you guys think of the pants. If you like this video, like, subscribe. We do all sorts of stuff like this. DIY, sewing, pattern making, knitting. Yeah. So, I will see you guys later.